All right, moving right on to Nicholas Amato. Do you believe in openly rejecting false teachers? Why does it seem at times you endorse them?
Yeah, I get misrepresented a lot on internet, and I think it's important people know what I've actually said. What I find interesting is I've written over 40 books, I've written over 2,000 articles, and I've got thousands of hours of audio online. And almost none of the folks that criticize me actually take issue with the material in the books. It's rather, well, you're a friend with so and so, or you went on someone's show, etc. So I work with people throughout the body. Number one, cessationists, people who deny the gifts of the power of the Spirit, Calvinists, Arminians, pre-tribbers, post-tribbers, charismatics, of all been. I'm charismatic myself, but I'll work with people in all different settings. I've taught at seminaries that don't believe in the gifts and power of the Spirit for today. I've worked closely with folks who are Calvinists. Some of my dearest friends hold to pre-trib rapture, and I don't agree with any of those positions. So I work with them, and I constantly call out false teaching. I've done it for decades. I have whole books on it. Within the Pentecostal charismatic movement, I'm fairly sure that I have addressed false teaching in our midst and aberrant movements in our midst more than any other major leader. Go back to 1991 in my book, Whatever Happened to the Power of God? Is the Charismatic Church Slain in the Spirit or Down for the Count? Plus books before that. Go to my book on hyper grace, where I name names and get into details of significant error in our midst. Go to 2018 when I wrote a whole book called Playing with Holy Fire, a wake-up call to the Charismatic Pentecostal Church. Go to last year when I was one of the key leaders calling out the failed Trump prophets and prophecies, those who guaranteed Trump would serve 8 straight years in the White House. And together with some others, we drafted prophetic standards to call for accountability in our movement. So I do that constantly. I'm friends with some people whose guests on TV I don't agree with, or some of their teaching I don't agree with, but they're believers and we're friends. I've known them for many years. And along with that, what happens is, when my understanding of false teacher is someone who is not saved. 2 Peter 2:1, false teachers bring in damnable heresies. So if I believe someone is a believer but in error, I'll correct them accordingly. I've had critics come to me and say, okay, name this one. Are they a false teacher? I said, if you mean they are not saved, and if they were to die now, they're lost. No, as far as I know, they're a believer, but they're in error. That's where we've had our differences. So I'm going to speak the truth regardless of the consequences, but I'm not out to please the critics or to please the charismatic extremists. I'm out to honor the Lord.